Hey, Dr. J. So I'm thinking about making a career change, and I'm wondering what should I be thinking about or worrying about?
It's a good question, and I think we all get to that point where we just want to tell our job what to do with it. Just want to get rid of it. But the question is kind of what are you changing from, and what are you changing to? Two different things. So often when people say I want a career change, they go, "Well, that's because I hate my job." Okay, we've all been there. We've all had bad days. I even have bad days where I hate my job too. But the question is, okay, so why are you changing, and what do you want to change to? So let me give you a couple examples of this. And people say, well, I want to get a different job because I want to make more money. Cool. My next question is, will making more money make you happier? And that's where people go, because the normal process is let's just keep going. So, Katie, what do you think? Does making more money make you happier at a job?
Oh, at a job specifically or in life?
Let's go with job because we're talking about career change now. We'll talk about bigger life issues later.
I think you can have more money to spend on the things you enjoy outside of work, which can make you happier. I don't know that it would make you happier doing your day-to-day tasks at work or projects.
So, what you're saying, and let's just see if I'm on the right page, is there's a certain amount of money that makes being miserable at work okay.
Not okay, but more tolerable, I guess.
So, in other words, you have a number that says, I'll tolerate the BS because I'm making a bunch of money.
Yes.
And by the way, that's true for a lot of people. But here's the thing you're going to spend like a third of your life or more at work. So, my thing is going, cool, you could make more money to be miserable, or you can make less money and be happy. How do you find that balance, Katie?
Well, I think maybe because I came from a background of like not having a lot of money and being really stressed about even being able to pay rent and, not being able to like go out to eat without wondering if I'm going to bounce something. So I think for me, it was like getting to a place where I could comfortably pay all my bills every month and have a bit left over and have a little bit of flexibility to do like a few fun things. That to me was like, yeah, makes it bearable to get all of my like kind of living expenses and what I need covered.
And by the way, that's about the normal thing. If I got enough to pay my bills, not worry paycheck to paycheck, any more money really does not add happiness. There's actually some research behind it. On the flip side, if your job's really miserable or you're hating your career, well, cutting back on some of your expenses is also an option. People go, well, I can't do that. I have these two nice cars I have to pay payment. No, you could sell one of them. And I know that seems weird, but when you're child free or permanently childless, you've decided not to follow the standard life script. The standard life script says you get married, you have kids, you go to the career, you go up the ladder, you keep going, you go out, you retire, all that. Well, you've thrown the script away, you have more flexibility. You could actually even move somewhere, make less money, and still make ends meet.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I've thought about. I'm in a place where cost of living is really high right now. It'd be nice to like lower my rent and all of that. So I think that makes sense. I mean, if you can find a balance, I think you're right. Like not having kids allows you to be a bit more creative and flexible with what your setup looks like.
Yeah, and that's kind of my challenge. I said, okay, I want to make a career change. I'm going, take some time and figure out what actually brings you joy. I call this the Marie Kondoing your life. What brings you joy? Get rid of the rest. Let's clean house. But people go, well, but I did this degree and I have to use it. No, you don't. Like seriously. So I'm 44, and on average, someone around my age will go through 7 significant career changes in their life. Not job changes, career. I was in healthcare, now I'm in finance, I've been in another thing, all over the place. It's just kind of what happens. In the days of, well, you're a job jumper, that's gone. On average, people are staying 2 to 3 years at a job max. If you see somebody that's been at a job for 5 years, I'm going, is that a government job or like an academic job? 10? Oh, that's crazy. Where it used to be you would do 25 years at some place and retire.
I'm actually just leaving my job of 9 years. So I'm in that like, whoa, what happened category. But it's actually been because I've been trying to move into something that I like more and balancing both. So
And let me guess, Katie, probably should have changed careers 5 years ago.
yes.
I'm just, by the way, I don't know any of this. It's normal. People go, they just point and they look it back and go, how the heck did I get here? Yeah, most adults never pick their career path. They're like, your parents said you were good at this, so then you go to school to be good at that. Then you go and you end up unhappy. I'll give you an example. I worked with a resident in medical, um, and he was on his second year residency, 1 year left, doing okay, not great, but that's why he was in my office. And I talked to him. I said, "Hey, kind of what's up?" Spent a lot of time together. Bottom line was, he didn't want to be a doctor. His father and his mother, his parents had always wanted him to be a doctor, and they paid for school and paid for everything. And he's now here at the end, like, we got 1 year left and going to be a doctor. And I'm like, dude, are you going to be miserable? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I mean, you're young to be miserable for the rest of your life. And frankly, also not the doctor I want to be miserable. I mean, like, seriously. So I worked with him for quite a while, and his passion was actually in art, making art. And I said to him, well, you tell me what's more important. So I saw him a bit of time later, and he comes up to me. He's just smiling. I said, what's up? He says, I took your advice. I quit being a doctor. I said, oh, I did not give you the advice to quit being a doctor. I just said, think about it. He says, my parents are really mad at me, but I've never been happier in my life. He's making 40 some odd $1,000 a year doing art. And now his, purpose in life matches his job. I see you smiling, Katie. I can see this fits, huh?
Yeah, and actually, I think that I did do this in the last decade because I had a career shift where I went to school, got my master's degree in social work, and have been working at a nonprofit. And I actually think it's been a good fit. So I think for me, it's not as much career shift maybe as just like a focus shift, job shift. So
Yeah, and by the way, I don't care what change you need. So there's a book actually out there called Necessary Endings. Really good concept of just sometimes things in your life just need to end, and something new can happen. If you're looking at career change, some of the things on the financial side, we have a separate video on sabbatical, which is a way to help you find what you want to do. We also have a separate video on the gardener and the rose, how you can provide support for each other. Also, going back to school, if you want to do that, we have several videos on those. You want to have an emergency fund when you move. Remember that changing jobs is going to come with some period of time where you're not getting a paycheck. And if you've been paycheck to paycheck and that first one's a little delayed, ooh-wee. Also healthcare, there's usually something called COBRA, so you can take your healthcare from before, but that's going to cost 102% of what they were paying. Don't ask why, but that's just kind of the math. So you have to have a plan for that. And then the other thing is, I just want to make sure you are going to something versus just running from something.